Hey Grand Adventurers, welcome back. I'm your host Mark Guido, and we're spending this week RV camping in British Columbia's southern interior to visit and explore the areas surrounding the neighboring towns of Nelson and Castlegar. Come along. Nelson and Castlegar, two cities located in the Kootenays of the southern British Columbia interior, are separated by the final 25 miles of the Kootenay River. Located on the west arm of Kootenay Lake, Nelson is known for its collection of restored heritage buildings that date back to a regional silver rush in 1886. Due to its proximity to major transportation corridors, Nelson developed into a supply center for local mining activities and soon became the region's primary transportation and distribution center. By the 1900s, Nelson boasted several fine hotels, a Hudson's Bay Company store, and an electric streetcar system. During the Vietnam War, many U.S. draft evaders settled in Nelson and the surrounding area, changing the area's cultural and political demographics and earning it the nickname Resistorville. After suffering an economic downturn with the closure of the city's sawmill, downtown Nelson's Baker Street underwent a restoration and revival in the mid-1980s, bolstered by Steve Martin's selection of the city as the primary shooting location of his feature film, Roxanne. Today, Nelson has completed its transformation from a resource-based town to an arts and tourism town, which in winter benefits from the proximity of skiing and snowboarding at Whitewater Mountain Resort, just a few miles south of town. By contrast, nearby Castlegar, developed around the confluence of the Kootenay and Columbia rivers, remains a resource-based town with a local economy based on forestry and mining, while its transition to tourism is still in its relative infancy. The town was planned in 1897. Around 1902, the Canadian Pacific Railway bridged the river, and the first store opened, housing both Castlegar's post office and town hall. William Gage built the Castlegar Hotel in 1908, and the first schoolhouse was built by a few local residents. By 1925, a dance pavilion, garage, tourist cabins, and a slaughterhouse were established here. Castlegar's main business street, Columbia Avenue, runs the length of the city, which bills itself as the sculpture capital of Canada. Now in its 15th year, Castlegar's downtown hosts Sculpture Walk, a rotating outdoor exhibition of sculptures and artwork held annually in downtown Castlegar to compete for a $25,000 prize. Each year, viewers vote for their favorite sculpture, and the People's Choice winner is purchased by the city for its permanent collection. We're staying on the outskirts of Castlegar at Kootenay River RV Park, right on the banks of the Kootenay River. This is a beautifully landscaped campground for an attractive stay. Our 50 amp full hookup site here cost us $324 Canadian for the week, or around $234.50 US at today's exchange rate. While most campsite pads here are gravel, ours is one of 3 that are meticulously maintained deep green grass. We've been experiencing a heat wave here, with temperatures running nearly 20 degrees above the area's 30-year averages for early September, topping out in the 90s to nearly 100 degrees. We've also had days when the blue skies and sunshine have been obscured by heavy smoke from nearby wildfires. As beautiful as this RV park is, we found ourselves repeatedly running afoul of a number of their rules. For one thing, they bill themselves as an adults-only, quiet RV park. A campground host paid me a visit as I was watching the afternoon newscast on my outdoor TV to inform me that wasn't allowed. While they understandably prohibit patio mats on their lush grass, I received another visit to inform me that the doormat at the foot of my stairs was verboten too. When I misunderstood how and where she wanted me to park my truck, that earned me another visit. All in all, while it felt mildly overbearing, and some of these rules are certainly a bit peculiar and restrictive, they've ensured a quiet stay for restful sleep each night in Castlegar, something that's only enhanced the quiet comfort of our quality RV mattress, supplied by our valued video sponsor, Brooklyn Bedding. Improve your sleep while camping with a new RV mattress from our video sponsor, Brooklyn Bedding. They offer 4 different mattress constructions in 21 different sizes, depending on preference and price point. Everything from standard queen to all of those funky, odd RV sizes. Brooklyn Bedding manufactures all of its mattresses right at their factory in Arizona. And RVmattress.com ships them right to your door for free, all rolled up and compressed in a vacuum seal. Just cut the wrap to unroll the mattress onto your bed, then cut the vacuum seal. For our mattress, Brooklyn Bedding starts with a layer of high-density foam for a supported base. Just above the base, an 8-inch core of over 1,000 individually encased coils provides the essential support. Immediately above the coils is a 1-inch layer of memory foam and 2-inch layer of hyper-elastic TitanFlex foam. Finally, at the very top is a 1.5-inch layer of antimicrobial CopperFlex foam with TitanCool, which is designed to maintain an ideal sleep body temperature of 88 degrees. Every RV mattress from Brooklyn Bedding comes with a limited lifetime warranty and a 120-night sleep trial. Visit RVmattress.com/grandadventure and use code GRANDADVENTURE to get a full 30% off your entire order. Castlegar's population of just over 8,000 includes many Doukhobors, who were largely responsible for much of the town's early development and growth. The Doukhobors are a spiritual Christian ethno-religious group of Russians, whose pacifist teachings concluded that clergy and formal religious rituals are unnecessary, believing instead that God is present in every human being. Facing persecution by the Tsarist Russian government for their non-Orthodox beliefs, and financially supported by Canadian Quakers and Russian writer Leo Tolstoy. About one-third of the Doukhobors migrated to Canada between 1899 and 1938. They initially settled in present-day Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. But Castlegar became an important farming hub for the group when their leader, Peter Verhagen, bought vast tracts of fertile soil here from 1908 to 1913. It was around that time the Doukhobors also built the brilliant bridge, which spanned the Kootenay River and replaced the ferry service that they operated. Between 1908 and 1912, about 8,000 Doukhobors moved from Plains to these British Columbia lands to continue their communal way of living. However, that communal living style, along with other factors, including intolerance for schooling and a peculiar habit of staging pacifist protests in the nude, sowed distrust from both resident Canadians and their government. On October 29, 1924, Verhagen was killed in a bomb explosion on a scheduled passenger train en route to British Columbia. The government first blamed the Doukhobor community, although no arrests were made because of the Doukhobors' customary refusal to cooperate with Canadian authorities. Conspiracists believed it to have been a government assassination, and the incident remains unsolved to this day. Today, Verhagen's tomb can be found at this site, overlooking Castlegar. I never thought there would come a day that I'd use Tchaikovsky for the soundtrack in an RV travel video. Despite the heat, We're going to take an outing this late afternoon to Zuckerberg Island Heritage Park in Castlegar, adjacent to the confluence of the Kootenay and Columbia rivers. A suspension bridge leads from the mainland to the heavily wooded island park's picnic areas and nature trails. This is one of those fun cable bridges that sway and bounce when you walk on them. The island was once a winter home for the indigenous Sinaiks people, who fished the river here. Their history on the island is still visible in the remains of pit houses, like this one. However, the island's centerpiece is the unique chapel house, the home of Alexander Zuckerberg. A civil engineer, Zuckerberg emigrated to Canada in 1923 following the Russian Revolution, and taught the Doukhobors children at Verigen's request. Zuckerberg settled on the island and built this home with his wife, son, and daughter. They lived here for nearly 30 years. Alexander Zuckerberg and his wife Alicia are both memorialized in a small cemetery plot at the island's highest point. There's a perimeter trail around the island's circumference, along with numerous spur trails leading to other points of interest on the island. We'll be right back with more from the Castlegar area right after we take a quick ad break, so stay tuned. While salmon were once plentiful in both the Columbia and Kootenay rivers, numerous dams now restrict their upstream migration. The Columbia River Treaty is a 1961 agreement between Canada and the United States on the development and operation of dams in the upper Columbia River Basin for power and flood control benefits in both countries. It was signed following the 1948 Columbia River flood that caused extensive damage from Trail, British Columbia to Astoria, Oregon, and completely destroyed Vanport, Oregon's second largest city. along the Columbia River, just downstream of the Keenleyside Dam in the village of Robson. The Lion's Head pub is rather unique, thanks to the cliffs of Lion's Head behind it. There are a number of bolted sport climbing routes on the rock wall above the parking lot. How many places can you send it on a 5.9? Then walk across the parking lot for a microbrew on the patio. We hope that you've enjoyed exploring this part of British Columbia's southern interior with us. Now, we have one more stop coming up in Canada before we return to the western United States, and that's in the Okanagan Valley, a wine-producing region surrounding the city of Penticton. So if you're not yet a grand adventurer, there is no better time than right now for you to go smash that little subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss an episode of Grand Adventure, which we premiere right here every Wednesday evening. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. Understand that it's extremely important to us that if you enjoyed this episode from Nelson and Castlegar, please be sure to give us a huge thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, that's where you're going to find the comment section where we'd love to hear from you each and every week. So until next Wednesday from Penticton, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.